Hello everyone. In this session we will be discussing functions and matrix transformations. A brief overview of functions already given in the previous session. We're going to be starting a little more detailed discussion on what exactly a function is and what are some of the important terms associated with a function. So just to give a quick recap, I've put an image together here. So let's say we have a domain here which is r raised to the power of n dimension, and I have some variable x here. A function can be visualized as a kind of machine. So it takes the input and then it maps it, and then you have an output which is t of x, which is in a new space which is r of m dimension space, which is called as the codomain, and these values t of x, which is the value of x when it is mapped to this codomain, becomes the range of this function. So these are the three important terms that we will be discussing a little more in detail in the next few slides, but I guess you get the picture of what exactly a function is now. So it's just some kind of a machine again, and then the domain is a dimension from which you pick up your independent variables and then you put them inside this machine, which is a function, and then you get an output from that function, which is again some value in some dimension space, which is r of m in this case. That becomes my codomain, and these values that has been mapped within the functions becomes my range. So these are the terms we have to keep in mind. So some important terminologies in continuation to our discussion. Rn is called the domain of T. Rm is called the codomain of T. For x in Rn, the vector t of x in Rm is the image of x under T. We've seen that. It's like taking the x variable as input and passing it through a machine which is T, and then the output is T of x because the T machine has done some operation. So the set of all images T of x, when x is a value in R of n dimensional space, is the range of T, which we've already seen. So the notation T of r raised to the power of n change from Rn to Rm means that T is a transformation from a space which has r raised to the power of n dimension to another dimension which has r raised to the power of m dimension. So let us think of it this way again. T is a machine that takes x as an input and gives you tx as the output. So these are the key terms that you have to keep in mind as far as functions are concerned. What is interesting here to see is we're taking some values from one dimension already and then doing some operation and then putting them in another dimension. So you have to see them as dimension problems when you will be applying this understanding to ML problems. So just think of it this way at this point in time. So let us apply this understanding to matrix again. So we have A as an m cross n matrix. The matrix transformation associated to A is a transformation of a matrix from Rn to Rm, which is defined by T of Tx equals Ax. I don't think I need to explain why we are equating the value of this transformation function as Ax, because we've already discussed we represent the matrix in the form of A of x, where A is your matrix and x are the requisite variables. So this is the transformation that takes a vector x in Rn to the vector Ax in Rm. So this is how the transformation is happening. Let us see how. So we have A as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we also have the values for the vector spaces as -1, -2, -3. So then we have to multiply the two together because it says A multiplied by x, and x here is -1, -2, -3. A we already have, so what I've done is I'm just going to multiply this, all the entries in the first row with all the entries in the first column against the second vector space. So 1 multiplied by -1 plus 2 multiplied by -2 plus 3 multiplied by -3 is 9, 4 and 1, which is 14, Then similarly for this row, 4 multiplied by minus 1 plus 5 multiplied by minus 2 plus 6 multiplied by minus 3 is minus 32. So you see that we've taken a matrix and we've multiplied it with vector values, and then what we have is a matrix which is just a single column matrix. So what is interesting to see is the number of columns that you keep in a vector space equals the number of columns you get in the output space. Alright. Some important key summary. So let A be an m cross n matrix and Tx equals Ax. So T is here transformation function here, and represented in the form of matrix becomes Ax, be the associated matrix transformation. So then the domain of T is R of n. We've seen that, where n is the number of columns of A. You have to keep that in mind. So we start, this is my domain and this is my codomain. Alright, so my columns are my domains and my rows are my codomain in case of a matrix. The codomain of T is R raised to the power of m, where m is the number of rows of A, and the range of T is the column space of A. So the space across which the columns are extending becomes my range for the matrix transformation. Some important function types that we have to see. One is one-to-one transformation or one-to-one function. That is, you have some variable in your domain and then you apply some form of a transformation T to it, and then you get an output T of x in R of m. This is my domain, this is my codomain, and then there's just a single mapping from domain to codomain. So you have one value here, and then when you map it, there's just one single mapping or transformation function against this variable. Similarly for y, we have one T of y, and z we have one T of z, and so on and so forth. So this is a one-to-one transformation because there's just one value in the domain which is being mapped against one value in the output section. A not one-to-one transformation will obviously be something which is not a one-to-one transformation. That is, you might have multiple variables in your domain which is mapped to a single value in your codomain, because now it's no more one-to-one, right? X is being mapped to T of x and y is also mapped to T of x. That means T of x equals T of y because they are coinciding at one single point, and so it's not a one-to-one transformation. Pretty obvious, right? Then onto transformations is you start from a range. So that is what you say is you have a mapper function T of x here, and then there is at least one value back in the domain section. So there can be more because we're using the word at least here, but at least one should be there. So transformation T from Rn to Rm is on to if for every vector B in Rm, so that is a vector here, the equation Tx equals B has at least one solution x in Rn. So for this mapping, there has to be at least one solution x in Rn, which is my domain space. Okay. So this is pretty much it that we have to know in this session. If you have any questions, feel free to put them down in the comment section or get in touch to me, and we will continue our next session